Live from Shenanigans Sports Bar and Grill, this is Bobcat Insider, live on Pixelcast Media's Concho Sports Network. Special show today. It's the spring football show with Coach Mark Smith and more. Right here, live from Shenanigans, and brought to you by your friends at Orangetheory Fitness. And a special thank you to Luke's Cage. Thank you all for joining us in live stream land. And everyone that's here tonight, let's make some noise. How about those Bobcats?
Hey. Yep.
Head Coach Mark Smith is with us.
Yep.
And as always, it's a pleasure to have you along, Coach. Great things are happening. Let's get caught up on spring football. I think the last time we talked, you guys were just starting to get into
skills
less,
and drills phase,
less conditioning and more skills and drills.
That's right.
Where are we now? Where have we been?
We are 13 practices in to a 16 practice spring schedule.
Okay.
So we just finished number 13 today. We've got another full workout tomorrow, special teams workout on Wednesday, and then we'll finish up with spring game Thursday night. But it's been fast and furious all the way through, but it's been a lot of fun. You know, we've been able to incorporate some of our younger guys and our older guys in practices together. We've kept them separate for some, you know, all just strategically, you know, put in place that way. But I've been super impressed with how we've done, how we've handled things, and we've been, my philosophy is always just kind of try to feed them through a fire hose with offense, defense, kicking game. I like volume. I like pushing stuff on the players, you know, straining them in these moments now during the spring. So then you are able to kind of pull off at certain points during the fall. But I think springtime is for just kind of teaching, getting after it, going, trying to establish the, you know, what this team is going to be all about, what we're going to be known for, set the norms that we want to practice by, and get all those things in alignment, and we have succeeded in those areas.
And take them a little bit out of their comfort zone.
Oh, yes.
So take them out of their comfort zone and get them into you and I have talked about the position changes and seeing what those D-backs are going to do against those receivers, and that.
You'll see more crossover players on our team this year.
Cool.
You know, we've got, you know, from that experiment, you know, that we did last spring, we did it this spring as well. We got a lot of guys that can help us on both sides of the ball. So you're going to see a little bit more of that than you have in years past, probably more so than any year that I've been a head high school coach. So I'm excited about that. You know, I think that we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things. I think then it becomes a situation where the coaches have to make sure that we don't put too much on certain players in different areas. But I can maybe be a primary offensive player, but I have a role on defense. Here's my package. Here's what I come in and do, or the other way around. So that's been very good to see this spring.
That's cool.
Is conditioning where you want it?
It is. You know, I think that we don't condition at the end of practice. You know, I think that if you practice the right way, you get conditioning during practice. So we try to keep that going at a pace. And one thing that we do, you know, and I monitored this last year throughout training camp. We didn't have spring football last year, but throughout training camp, kind of what is the conditioning level of your team? You know, you kind of balance that with, do you want them going into week one with dead legs, or would you like them to have fresh legs and not condition as much? There's kind of a fine line to try to find in there. But I think we balanced that. We struck that balance really well last year. We were a well-conditioned team, and I think that kind of starts with what you do as soon as you begin winter conditioning all the way now.
And finding that spot where they gel, going through and, okay, well, you know, we talk about the 3 seasons. So you've got non-district play. You want them to gel in district. You don't want to necessarily gel in non-district. And so I'm assuming that, you know, backing off a little bit, finding that.
Well, I think there has been a little bit different that way. I think last year for me, it was still almost trying to find the identity of the football team. You know, we didn't go through spring training. The first opportunity to see them in pads was during training camp, and then not against another opponent. So you really kind of, there's some question marks left out there. And what are we going to do when things get a certain way? So this year I know exactly what this team has, what they bring, you know, their attitudes, their disciplines, you know, their strengths, their weaknesses, and it's been so much cleaner to be able to put that puzzle together. You know, it's like if we had a jigsaw puzzle and the pieces were all over this table, you know, sometimes it's like, where do I even start? You know, but with this team coming back this year, boy, I had the 4 corners were already done. Everything was built in. We just needed to put a few pieces together in the middle. So that's kind of a good analogy for describing how to put a team together.
And you mentioned soft tissue injuries. You had looked at the analytics, and it had been a problem in the past. Are you seeing less of that kind of thing?
Far less. I give great credit to our training staff, Blaine Todd, Devin Glass. Those guys do a tremendous job, monitoring that, and we're on the same page with that, making sure that we address things as soon as they come up. If we're seeing something that's become a chronic issue within the team, well, we're doing something wrong in the way we train. So we address those immediately. Look at those. So, yeah, far less soft tissue issues. That injury report is trimmed way down from what it was when I got here a year and a half ago. So, yeah, healthy, durable teams are the ones that win late in the season.
Absolutely.
How hard do you guys go as far as hitting when you're in pads to where you can replicate when you meet Abilene High, a team with bad intentions?
That's a great question. I think that one thing that this team has done, we have only had 2 live segments during spring training through 13 practices so far. And I had planned to do more than that. But when you have a mature team that can get in the right position, that can fit people up and stay on their feet, athletic enough to stay on their feet and practice the right way, then you don't necessarily need to do all the pounding that you would do, years ago in this. Coming from the college level, you never tackle it all.
Right.
But the players are so athletic that they can stay on their feet, they can get right in position, near foot, near shoulder on the tackles, be where they need to be, and thud a runner up. And the runners can have great, body control and good contact balance, which is what we look for in offensive players, to be able to stay on their feet as well. So we've got a really good team that's athletic, that can stay on their feet, that can do those things, but still bring an we're 100% physical. We just try to not take you to the ground. And I think that's the safest way to do it.
So any surprises that you saw? Any player that you went, wow, that you don't have to say names, but any player that you went, yeah, I got one.
There always are, and I'll say Noah Rogers, he's playing defensive back, came off of our JV from a year ago, and he just has a skill set that's unique. And, he's one that we talked about in a staff meeting just a few minutes ago. I literally left staff meeting where we went over the entire roster, and that's what you do in springtime and go over that. But Noah's just one. He's just one player who'll be a great player for us this year, but a guy that you may not have heard of a year ago, who's going to be a great player on our team this year.
And I want to say that we called his name couple of years ago at the eighth grade game.
Hometown showdown.
I bet you did.
The hometown showdown.
Yeah. It's cool to see those kids say their name, and then a couple of years later you're saying it under Friday Night Lights.
Of course, we got consistency with guys like Mason Van Sickle, Jacob Jackson. Just some of the senior leadership that's within the team that's back that played a dominant role from a year ago, and those guys are as advertised. But what I love about them is that they continue to improve and keep their focus on how can I be a better player, every day. Not that, man, I had a really good season last year. These guys are hungry. I've said it on this stage before. They got a bad case of the want-tos, and when you got a team that has a bunch of guys and with a bad case of the want-tos and it's spread, you're going to have a good bunch.
That is.
Yep.
What do you want people to say about your team? Just a couple of sentences as far as toughness, or what are the words you want to define this team?
I think there's 3, really. I want smart, tough, and dependable players. I think that, football is a game that is played by intelligent people, with what we ask. And you're going to see some of that here in a minute. We're going to be up on this whiteboard right here behind me, kind of going over offense and defense and kicking game 101. Football is not a game for dummies.
Right.
You've got to be smart. You've got to process a lot of information in a short amount of time. And then you've got to be able to perform a physical act, of violence, with somebody coming at you trying to get after you at the same time. So I like smart players that they put themselves in the right position. They know what to do. They know where they need to be, and they know how to play. Tough guys win in this game. There is no substitute for toughness in winning in the game of football. Soft guys don't do well in this game. You have to have guys that like that kind of smoke, that action.
They want that smoke.
Yeah.
But not the illegal kind of smoke. Not the fighting kind of smoke.
Of course not. Yeah. And then dependable, guys that just, they're football guys. They love what they do. They show up every day with a mindset and a work ethic and a mental intensity to perform at a high level. Those are the 3 characteristics I would want people to say, that is what describes the San Angelo Central Bobcat team. And
enthusiasm from the coaching staff is contagious with the kids, I believe.
It is. We have a lot of fun. I think, everybody started playing the game of football when they were a little boy because they had fun doing it. And, coaches can take the fun out of it sometimes. And it is serious business what we do. But at the same time, we want the guys to always remember, man, we're doing this to have fun. And the fun's in the winning at San Angelo. It's not fun when you don't, and it's fun when you win. So that's what we focus on.
And I've always said you're the kind of coach that you don't want to disappoint because you don't typically just get on somebody rough. And if you do, you're like, golly, man, I'm disappointed. That would be awful. You know, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I can see that look in their face sometimes when I get on to somebody, like, man, they just didn't want to disappoint. And I appreciate that. That's kids that care a lot. They got great investment in what we're doing and care for this school and that logo and that helmet. That means a lot to me. And when I see that, man, I know I got a guy I can win with.
It's got to be great when you see a kid that's not getting it for a while. And, you know, it's messing with him. And it's got to be good for that kid whenever you say, there you go.
That's right. That's some of my favorite things. I mean, as a coach, I see myself as a teacher first and foremost. I love teaching the game of football. And I think that everyone, you've got to meet them at what teaching style they need to be met at. Right. You know, whether they're, kinesthetic learner, whether they're an auditory or a visual learner. I have to know that about my students, and I got to meet them right where they need to be met. And I love continuing to poke at that until, man, I finally found a breakthrough right here with that, to finally have something make sense for them.
It's that light bulb that goes off above them and you go, it's that aha moment.
That's right. That's right. I try to always remind myself, like, 25 years I've been doing this, and all I do is watch tape all day long and study football, and I mean, just it's been a long time. But I can blurt things out, and they have no idea what that meant, and I have to make sure that I communicate in a certain way that's effective to get across a point to them, and I love it when that light bulb goes off. Very rewarding.
Well, why don't we let you Why don't we let you be a teacher here in a few minutes?
And I'm excited about that.
And we're also going to talk about Thursday.
That's right.
I call it the Festival of Fun and Football coming up Thursday.
Right.
It's going to be really awesome. But it's X's and O's times. I don't think I've ever known a coach that actually was going to draw up some stuff.
Well, I'm excited. My daughter's here. One of my daughters is here, going to come up, and she just finished her second year at the University of Oklahoma in the Gaylord School of Journalism. Yeah, she's right back there, and she's amazing. And it's a tremendous school, and a school of journalism, one of the top schools in the country for that. And so she's studying. She wants to be, in this business and in this field. So I'm excited to have her come up here, and she's going to kind of take me through a few things here on the board.
You don't want to miss this, folks.
Yep.
We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and it's a family thing too. So stay tuned. We'll be right back from Shenanigans. This is Bobcats Insider from Shenanigans, Orangetheory, and Luke's Cage. We'll be back right after this on Concho Sports Network.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance, so we can make your payment fit your budget. So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
At Schertz Landscape, we care about the quality of trees that you put in your landscape. Therefore, we grow our trees here locally in the Concho Valley. As a certified arborist, I not only care about the quality of your tree being planted, but I am also qualified as a tree risk assessor. I can evaluate the health of an older tree or the risk that it may have to you and your property. Come see us at Schertz Landscape, where we care about the quality of your trees.
Damon Bell Photography and Drone Services for all your photo and video needs. Call 325-245-9663. Oh, and we also do sports. Call today.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance, so we can make your payment fit your budget. So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
Welcome back to Shenanigans Sports Bar and Grill for Bobcats Insider.
Yeah.
I'm not even on. There we are.
Yeah.
For Bobcats Insider Spring Football Edition, I'm Darren Prater. Thanks to Orangetheory Fitness and Shenanigans for helping us out with this, plus Luke's Cage. Now it's time to get down to X's and O's, and we have a new celebrity here. I have a feeling she's going to be on ESPN, Fox Sports someday. McKenna Smith is here. She pulled up in the Sooner Schooner to Boomer Sooners. And tell us about yourself. This is Coach Smith's daughter, your oldest daughter.
Hi, I am a broadcast journalism student at the University of Oklahoma. Like he said, I would love to be on ESPN one day and work with football, so it's great to be here with you guys today. Thank you.
It's great to have you. This is a family thing, and you grew up with a dad, a coach dad. You had to move a little bit.
Yes, sir.
How do you adapt to that, moving to a new school? Did you make friends easy, or is it kind of strange at first?
I feel like I do make friends pretty easily. Moving around a bunch allowed me to experience a lot of things just like this and get to meet a lot of new people and figure out what I want to do in life.
And you've ended up at a great school. I know some Texas folks begrudgingly know that anyway.
Yes.
So let's talk about things going on with spring football, and you had some news to share with us, you guys together, about what's going on and some X's and O's.
McKenna's going to kind of kick this off, and we're going to do a new segment here for the show right here, where we're going to get Coach on the whiteboard.
Yes.
Right here, and I'm thrilled to be alongside McKenna. So proud of her. And you're right, I'm glad you brought that up. She is a resilient young lady, been all over the country. I had her in 3 high schools in 4 years over the course of coaching career, taking me, everywhere. And she's just been so amazing along the way, and I'm just very proud of her.
All right,
let's get going.
Let's go. I'm going to let y'all just do your thing
Thank
here.
you.
Let's go. X's and O's time with Coach Smith and McKenna Smith. These you may see both of them on Fox Sports someday, ESPN. You never know.
I like that idea.
Thank you very much. Well, Coach Smith, tell us about, you hired 2 new coordinators this year. Tell us about how you want to implement some new things in your offense this season.
Well, it is. Hiring 2 new coordinators, first of all, that's a long process to find the right person that fits your team for that moment. And we found 2 great men, Jacob Martin on our defense, Roy Garcia on offense. Both were in our program this previous season, and great familiarity with both of them and the utmost confidence in exactly what we're doing. But it's a process to be able to do that. So I want to kind of just take a minute right here and take you through some things on offense. As you're looking for you viewers at home, when you're getting ready to put an offense together for your team, these are a couple of things to keep in mind. When I hired a new offensive coordinator, this is how I think on offense. So in terms of offense, there are 3 things that I think you always have to consider. Number 1, when you're putting together an offense, you got to think players first. Okay, players first. You think formations second, and then you think plays third. And I think a lot of people get that backwards, and they think, man, you got to have some really cool plays that you want drawn up and ready to go. But in my opinion, you start with players, and then now putting the players in the right position formationally to be able to probe a defense, to get them in the right position and the right matchup to do what you need to do, and then plays third. So, and then that's just a basic philosophy there. And within this, I wanted to hire a coordinator that had a lot of experience winning different ways. And I think that's important. You can hire somebody that is a system coach. I've always been in a spread system. I've always been in a 21 personnel pro system where the ball is run downhill. But I like guys that have experience winning different ways. And I say that because in high school, you have the players who are in your building. They come into your building, and you can't put a square peg into a round hole. Let's find the right formula for this team. And guys that have experience winning different ways, I've had to go through that and find ways to move the ball creatively. So we'll start here. Go ahead, McKenna.
I think it's great that you want to incorporate not only the strengths of these new coaches, but also the players. For offense, you want to include players for foundations and plays. Do you still want to do the same thing with defense, or is that different?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit different on defense, but that's absolutely what it is. On defense, I think that number 1, in the three things here as well on defense. You're thinking players, your personnel on defense. I say personnel. Okay, and what I mean by personnel is that there's different packages you come into on the field defensively in order to be able to get players on the field. Certain situations require different people in the field. We're never going to play a defensive snap over the course of a drive and the same 11 guys are on the field all the time. Sometimes if the offense comes in with big people, I'm going to match with big people. If they got skill people, I'm matching with skill people. You see this happening all the time in this chess match across the field. So it does start with players on defense as well. Secondly, for defense, it starts with structure. Okay, and what I mean by that is the structure of your defense. Are you going to be a 4 down, 2 linebacker, 5 DB defense? Are you going to be a 3-4-4 defense? How are you going to structure your defense within that? So players, structure, and then last, presentation. So, and what I mean by presentation, and this is what we've done a great job with this spring, and I'm excited about this right now, is that the presentation is what do we want the offense to see when they take the field? So I want to show one thing from a defensive presentation, but that is not going to be what they're going to do by the time that the ball snaps. You'll see them moving in different directions, getting in different places, but it starts with players, the structure of your defense, and the presentation that you want to show the offense there. Just a general philosophy as we hired 2 new coordinators, and the guys that I've hired, you know, with Roy Garcia in this position, Jacob Martin in this position, they see exactly the same way. The philosophical approach to the foundation of putting together an offense defense, we're on the same page with this.
Well, Coach, I think you have a great plan, and it looks like it's going to be a successful season.
Thank you so much, McKenna. Thank you.
Just to pick your brain for just a second, I'll get this chance.
Yeah,
when you have a kid that's starting at quarterback on a pass play, what's the first thing fundamentally you tell him to look for in defensive backs or
Let's
whatever?
talk right now a little bit. I love this.
Let's do it, because I need, this is learning time for me.
This is me all day right here. You're scratching me where I itch right now.
All right.
Okay. I send our staff, we got a group chat together, and then I'll be in there watching film in the middle of the day, and a lot of them are teaching class, and I'll see something, a few days ago, it was what Miami Dolphins playing the Arizona Cardinals, in a Week 6 game from this past NFL season. I just saw I just video it right off my screen and share it with the guys, say, check this out. But here's, when you're structuring a play, let's start with an offensive play, okay? So I'm gonna do a pass play right here to start with. Okay, so this pass play, the concept, okay, is spot. All right, I'm calling it spot is the concept here. Okay, so however you want to structure it here. Okay, the concept is spot, and it comes with a sit down by the outside receiver, a corner route by the number 2 receiver, it's the tight end in this case, a swing route, okay, with a running back. Now, quarterback in his drop, it's usually married with some type of quick game action to the field, okay? Double slants to the field. Now, I say that because you notice, did the running back or tight end stay in the protection here? The answer is no. They're running routes. So I'm left with 5 guys in pass protection here. So this would be what we consider 50s protection, okay? That's widely known as 50s protection there. 5 guys in the protection here. Okay. So when there's only 5 in the protection, this ball needs to come out relatively quickly. We don't have a tight end and the running back in here to protect what we're doing and can create more time and throw the ball downfield. So that's why we want a quick game concept to the backside. So in terms of how we're going to read spot, okay, in this case, this is going to be a low to high read. The back, if there's nobody that expands with the back, we'll put it on the back right now and create a one-on-one matchup here. If it is some form of zone and they expand beyond the running back, the spot route will sit down just inside the outside backer defender, okay? And then if everyone bites up on these things, you have the corner route. You see this thrown a lot and completed in the tight zone in games where the tight end catches one over the top and tiptoes in the back of the end zone and nobody was on him. That's the route that you see there. And then always, if they push everyone over here into the trips, a lot of teams, the Mike linebacker relates to 3. 1, 2, 3. And if 3 is working into the boundary, that creates windows for the double slants to the field. But this whole process is read low to high from the quarterback on the spot side. As he sees backers push, he knows he's got windows in here for the slants on the backside.
And if they send a lot of guys, several guys blitzing, that's when you really see more opportunities if you can take advantage of them fast enough?
You do. If you know that you've got man coverage in this, and at teams, if you're going to blitz more than we can protect with, you're going to get man coverage in this. You'll see whichever defender has the running back as this happens, if he starts to dart down, you'll see a nice pick play just right here where the receiver will run and bump and rub into this guy as he comes across to create that matchup opening for the running back. So you have to have man answers, you have to have zone answers, you have to have pressure answers as well. And this is all built in. And a lot of the reason why we do all these things, and you'll see the quarterback under there, and he gets under and he checks to the side. All right, coach, did you see something that I didn't see right there? And we may want to change the play, get the quarterback into a different look, and now he can go back. So there's this constant, most of the game is played before the ball even snaps, between those things. Very little of it is when it snaps. The main chess match happens whenever you're in between plays and trying to figure out what everybody is doing.
And this helps fans too, because I know a lot of folks are wondering what's going on after you break the huddle or go no huddle, and you look over and do that at the sideline. What's going on? Did they not have a play called? Or,
no. A lot of it,
you're waiting for adjustments?
You want to go and you want to peek and get a look. You want to see what the structure and the presentation of the defense gives you, and as you see those things, then you've got answers built into your mind already. The best coaches for every play that are on their play sheets, I've got to answer for field pressure, I've got to answer for boundary pressure, I've got to answer for zero pressure, meaning they're bringing more guys than we can protect with. So if you've got answers built into your system, then you always have the ability to get out of a certain play and into something else. Then you're also dealing with a play clock that's winding down, and then the time is of importance right there as well. So if you are going to be a check team and look to the sideline, you better get to the line of scrimmage quickly and have the majority of that play clock still in your favor so you can peek over and get out of it and into something else if you need to.
Do you guys do like a read option type thing where you hand off or you pull it back depending on what happens?
We do.
How do you decide that if you're the quarterback?
So there's a few differences in how we read these plays. Okay. So if you're looking at just a true zone read play, so this is what you see, zone read. I'm going to draw this up out of a 2x2 formation. This is 10 personnel, 10P. Okay, that means we have one back, no tight ends, 4 wide receivers in the game. You see those big yellow cards go up on the sideline in college and pro games, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So there's a certain thing that go through my mind when they're in 10P if I'm a defender, okay, on this side, knowing this is what they like to do in 10P. So I'm going to draw up this defense here. I'm going to draw a 4-2-5 defense, okay? So now here we are, okay? They're playing man-free. We'll just say this is a man-free team. One post player high, everyone else man. If we're going to run the zone read, okay, that's going to be the player that I'm going to read. He's going to be on the side of the running back. So the running back is coming in here in his zone path on there. We're not going to block the defensive end that I put in a triangle. Okay. So the target now goes, we're going to block out, block out. Let me come in here and identify this a little better. Block out, block out. This double team will go to here. We will climb right to the other inside backer. So we got 5 guys that have targeted the 5 guys that we're blocking. Okay. We're reading the defensive end. Now this defensive end, if he turns his shoulders and he is closing the line of scrimmage, he turns his shoulders and I'm scraping right down the line, the quarterback should pull this ball and run. Okay? So if this defensive end squats and squeezes, or what we call surf technique, so that defensive end comes off the ball and he's surfing down the line. See, I'm in a surf position there. Okay. If he starts surfing down the line, I'm going to hand that ball off because we feel like if we hand that ball off, we can beat him to the spot to tackle the back. So that's the read right here. This is an RPO. It's a first level read. Okay. So this is a 1, 2 level, 3 level play. Okay, so zone reads, first level or zone reads, this is with the run game here. Now a lot of people marry these with some kind of passing concept off of this too. You can have this with a push crack, and now the quarterback can pull it and he's got an outlet to throw to as well. So that's another element to this play that you could get at. In a man-free team, this corner would run down with the receiver and you get a 2-for-1. You pull it and throw it right out here as well. But that's just a quick 101 football zone read presentation.
That's cool. Let's open my eyes a little bit. When you have guys kind of playing soft off here, do you do an immediate pass thing like snap the ball pass?
Yeah, we certainly could. I'm going to give you an example of a play. I'll take you through the mindset of what a quarterback hears. You know, I'm gonna go 10 personnel, slide right zoom, brown apple lock it. Okay, right now. All right, you got this, McKenna? Okay, she's heard a lot of these throughout the course of the year. So here we go. Slide right zoom, brown apple lock it. Okay, so now I've got slide right. The formation right here is 2 backs in the backfield, split backs. Zoom, I'm going to take the far back off right now. I'm the quarterback, boom, I'm going to get him out. He's out of the play right here. What I'm looking for is if they expand this linebacker at all, I'm going to hand the ball off and we're going to run inside zone. Let's go back to my 4-2-5 front that I'm at right here. I can lock the box. Remember, slide right zoom, brown apple, lock it. He's not a read now. I lock here, double up here, here. I got my numbers to run the zone. He left the box with the back. Okay? If he stays in the box, okay, right here, now I know. And they're in split safety coverage. I'm going to throw the ball right here because I can block because that backer stayed in. Here we go. Okay? Now, if this corner is playing off, we've got mechanisms built into our system that the quarterback can abort everything and throw the ball right now to him on a now screen and get him the ball in space and go. Okay? And then lastly, we got an answer if it rotates down into man free. Okay? Now they got a guy for the back and they got everybody covered up right here. It turns into quarterback ISO just like that, boom, and go. So there's 3 different things, 4 different scenarios with the now screen that you can throw as well off of one play. You know, that goes in, that's a lot that goes into one play. Takes a lot of repetition, a lot of work, you know, and to defend that, same thing. So we got a lot going on that board right now, but that's a quick little explanation of how that goes.
That does help things make more sense, like you said, even for our viewers and the parents as well, just getting to see that.
I think maybe parents coaching thing before season would be cool.
I think that would be great. I've always enjoyed that. In fact, my wife mentioned that idea, I think, just a few weeks ago. You know, you need to do something with the dads around your team.
Her and McKenna to come kind of teach everybody if you can get some time off school.
Yes.
She's home for the summer. We're grateful for that. Yeah. And just so proud of her. Yeah.
Well,
all A's again this semester. So, yeah.
There
she
you
takes
go.
after her mom in that. Yep. Her
Very
mom
cool.
graduated in the top 10 of our class in high school, about 500. And I graduated in the part of the class that made the top 10 possible. That's what I like to say. Yeah. Those of us in the bottom 490 had to do our work. For them. But yeah, we're very proud.
We all end up where we are.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break and then come back. We still have some more to go here on Bobcat Insider, especially the what I call the Festival of Fun and Football coming up this week. All right, we'll be back at Shenanigans with Bobcat Insider, presented by Orangetheory Fitness, right after this.
At Schertz Landscape, we care about the quality of trees that you put in your landscape. Therefore, we grow our trees here locally in the Concho Valley. As a certified arborist, I not only care about the quality of your tree being planted, but I am also qualified as a tree risk assessor. I can evaluate the health of an older tree or the risk that it may have to you and your property. Come see us at Schertz Landscape, where we care about the quality of your trees.
Damon Bell Photography and Drone Services for all your photo and video needs. Call 325-245-9663. Oh, and we also do sports. Call today.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance, so we can make your payment fit your budget. So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
At Schertz Landscape, we care about the quality of trees that you put in your landscape. Therefore, we grow our trees here locally in the Concho Valley. I not only care about the quality of your tree being planted, but I am also qualified as a tree risk assessor. I can evaluate the health of an older tree or the risk that it may have to you and your property. Come see us at Schertz Landscape, where we care about the quality of your trees.
Damon Bell Photography and Drone Services for all your photo and video needs. Call 325-245-9663. Oh, and we also do sports. Call today.
And they won a lot.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance. So we can make
Coming up this week, Thursday. Everything that's going to be going on, just go ahead.
It's going to be a great night. Thursday night, spring game. Of course, it's going to kick off at 4 o'clock. We have the Glen versus Lone Star 7-on-7 and lineman challenge. So we'll have the graders in our turf room right offside our weight room participating in a lineman challenge during that first hour. Then we'll kick off the spring game. We'll start 5 o'clock. We'll go roughly from 5 to 7. There'll be some kind of warm-up portion within the game, more like individual during practice. And then we'll get right to our format for our scrimmage. There'll be some live segments, some where we'll control the tackling and be situational football from the tight zone to the open field to backed up. We'll kind of work a lot of different scenarios throughout the course of the game. And then once the game is concluded, Bobcat Football and Bobcat Cheer are hosting a free football and cheer clinic for youngsters all over town. So K through 6th graders, are more than welcome to come down there. And we're just going to kind of get on the microphone when the spring game is wrapping up and say, all right, little ones, come on down. And it'll be with our players. Our Bobcat football players are going to be right there on the field to get a little time on offense and on defense. And our cheerleaders will be there, and all the little girls that want to come down and participate in that. They'll do a quick cheer clinic, and that'll be from 7 to 8. And at 8 o'clock, that'll conclude the night. But the Booster Club will be there. The trailer will be open. Food trucks will be everywhere. Just a lot of fun. Be a great night, San Angelo Stadium.
Was there going to be a hot dog eating contest or something?
There will be. I missed that part. There's going to be a hot dog eating contest. McKenna's going to participate in it. I'm just kidding. Yep. There will be. There's going to be, I believe, 4 players and a couple of cheerleaders participating in it. And 6 people total. We're getting 100 hot dogs, so I hope that they can't eat more than 100 altogether. I can't imagine, especially right after the spring game. This will happen after the spring game for some of those players to do that. And we're also doing tug of war. We're going to have a tug of war competition that's going to go on as well. Be a lot of fun.
That is going to be a lot of fun. McKenna,
you guys will be there live.
Yeah,
broadcasting
we're going to be broadcasting on Concho Sports Network, and you're going to hear some familiar names. You're going to hear a lot of new names, and some folks are going to try to be making a name for themselves in Bobcat football, and they have a good opportunity to do that. Cheerleading, did you ever do cheer?
I did. I did cheer and gymnastics growing up.
Oh, cool. There's so many cheers that have just gone by the wayside. Pork chop, greasy, we gonna beat y'all easy. I would like to see that.
Listen, we didn't grow up in Dublin, okay?
Well,
like you
was
did.
A Dublin
all right. I've never heard of that. Yeah, pork chop.
We're a little different.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's coming up beyond the spring game.
It sounds like Thursday is going to be a great day, but that also concludes spring football. So what are your plans this summer in continuing to prepare the team for the fall?
Well, the team is going to go right into what we call our summer training, which is kind of the next phase of what we do. So they're going to have the first 2 weeks off of summer. They got the week off of final exams, the first week of summer off, and then we'll kick it off. The UIL, which is the state governing body of athletics in the state of Texas, allows you to do a 6-week summer program. So we'll have 6 weeks on and 4 weeks off built into that. A week off at the beginning of summer. We'll have a week off at the 4th of July. We'll have a couple weeks off right there at the end. And then the other 6 weeks we're working. We're training, and you can work fundamentals and skills and drills now. You used to not be able to do that before. You only could do non-sport specific conditioning, not anymore. So we can train them, and we can get out there, and we can continue to grow with where we left off with spring ball, where we are on offense, on defense, kicking game. So it's a constant build as it ramps up towards the season, and it's an exciting time.
We're looking forward to that. And then it's going to be a road trip to start the season.
Road trip right down the road to Abilene, not too far. Not too far away. Last time the Bobcats were in Shotwell Stadium, it turned out pretty good for us this season.
Yes,
we beat Abilene Cooper there at the end. That's right. Yeah, but we're excited to get the season kicked off. We'll scrimmage Del Rio first. They're coming here in San Angelo Stadium the Thursday before that Friday night game at Abilene High. So, yeah, lots going on.
We are so excited. come out to Thursday, enjoy the festivities. It's on Concho Sports Network, and we'd love to have you tune in or come out and be a part of it. McKenna, do you have anything else to ask Dad?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a great season, and like you said, come out and support on Thursday, and we'll see how the fall goes. Hopefully it's successful.
All right.
Thank you.
Great job to both of you. Any more whiteboard stuff you want?
I think we're good, yes.
All
I think
right.
we've given enough for tonight, yes.
I bet Coach Hartman's going. All the other coaches, but I have a feeling you're holding on to a little more than you showed us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Coach Mark Smith, McKenna Smith, thank you so much. Thanks to Shay Harris, our producer with Concho Sports, and, of course, Arlen Ponder, who's enjoying his meal right now, chilling out. Be sure and join them for Concho Sports Insider on Thursday, 7 o'clock. We sure would appreciate that, man. And we'll have everything from the area we have on that, too, and a lot more. So be sure and tune into that. It's a new thing, and it's very cool. Thanks to Shenanigans, thanks to Orangetheory Fitness, and, of course, always Luke's Cage. Boy, get ready for the season. They got whatever you need. Thank you, everybody who joined us in live stream land and here for Bobcats Insider. We'll see you Thursday. Until then, so long, everybody.